What you making there, Will? It's very technical.
Warp speed device. Huh?
It's a kind of newfangled, what do you call it? Handle, huh? Wow.
Oh, it could work. Could get a 60 RPM with this, I think.
So we go try it for 60 RPM, see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, I just reset.
Ow.
Hang on, let's try this. Okay, you shout.
Now. 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 Now.
Faster.
Now. Ooh, okay. Alright. Now. 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 Now.
Yes, that is
Right there.
60 RPM.
Alright. Everything's pretty happy, isn't it?
And it's not even balanced yet, and it's hardly a wobble. I mean, the wobble in the wheel, but there's the frame is holding up, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Now the plan is to connect my new wheel directly to this old engine via a large flat belt. But is that a good idea? The engine has a regulator that keeps it spinning at 600 RPM. So unlike a car or whatever, I can't speed it up or slow it down once it's running. So both of these flywheels spin at 600 RPM. For this project, I'm only thinking about the smaller one. It has a diameter of 25 centimeters. If I put a belt on this and then around another pulley of the same size, then they both spin at the same speed. And if I went from this to a smaller pulley, like this one, that second pulley would spin faster. You know all this, of course, it's just the same as gearing with cogwheels. Now, I'd like my big wheel to spin round and round fast, but not that fast, not at 600 RPM. I imagine it would literally fall apart at that speed. So my plan is to slow it down by gearing. So I need to go from the engine to a larger pulley. And if I use the whole wheel as the pulley, that will reduce the wheel speed considerably and save a lot of work and parts making intermediate pulleys. That's the plan. Now, because the wheel's diameter is 10 times bigger than the pulley, it should run 10 times slower. If I can keep the belt on, of course. I really don't know if that's going to be possible. We'll have to wait and see. Actually, the engine's not doing anything at the moment. I've drained the water out of it because it's unusually cold here just now. Now 10 times slower is still 60 RPM, 60 rotations a minute, one rotation every single second. And because the circumference is 7.85 meters, that means the outside of this wheel is still travelling at 7.85 meters per second, or 17 miles an hour. Is that too fast? I don't know. That's why Will and I spun it up to that speed to see what it would look like. Pretty scary, or what? Of course, it was more wobbly than it needed to be, so we finished tightening the nuts and the bolts. Then set out to balance it. First of all, I tried to turn down the outside as if it was on a lathe, like this, but much faster, but it really just pulled up the grain.
That's the worst bit, just catching the end grain there. So that's not going to work. Worth a try.
So instead, we set up the router rather precariously and milled off the excess timber until it was round with a flat outer face.
Better edge anyway.
Better edge, but
It's taking a couple of mil off the lowest bits, I think. Oh no, there it's lower again. There
yeah,
it's
so it is at the right
about
level,
right. It's
but
not
yeah.
quite cutting at the lowest, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Then I made a curved pattern so I could round over that face to make it into a crowned pulley, which I hope will keep the flat belt running on it. Of course, by then I was on my own again, so I had to spin the wheel up myself. And that came out okay, a bit rough. I could have done a smoother job if I'd used a curved shape on the router as well. So both curves fitted together. But it was cold and I was tired, and it's not that important. A little sanding and it's fine. Did I tell you it's cold here just now? Then I welded up the seams, which was a pleasure because of something I'll tell you about in another video. And that surely makes things more rigid and strong. I was using these vice grips to help with the initial balancing, but that's not really a permanent solution. So I just used these cutouts instead. They just needed a hole in the middle, so I knocked up a surprisingly accurate centre finder. And then I just added weights to the lightest side. It took a while because you need to let the wheel find its heaviest spot every time and then add more weight opposite. And then repeat over and over. You could get very fussy about this, but I'll need to do this again when the blades are added. So I just got it pretty close and then I stopped. I balanced it with the handle attached too, because I need to leave it in the workshop for the next part of the build too, and there's no engine in here. Right then, that's done, so I'll spin it up again to something like the right speed and see how long it lasts. Last time it kept spinning for 7 minutes apparently, but that was with just one hefty tug on it. This time it should last longer, but how much longer? Sadly, there's no ticking this time because everything's tight. Of course, you don't actually need to watch all of this, but I did. It's curiously contemplative, and I found myself pondering life and ginger biscuits and the world spinning round. You know, that curious overlap of the utter meaninglessness of everything and the simple pleasures we can get from everyday things and patterns and people. I hope you have a lovely day and you find pleasures in simple things around you.